Welcome to this week's edition of Stony Brook Newsbreak. I'm Nina Mir.
And I'm Brianna Dearlum.
Bringing you the latest news. Tragedy struck in Baltimore in the early hours of Tuesday morning when a 984-foot-long cargo ship passing by the busy port of Baltimore lost power and collided with a support pillar off the Francis Scott Key Bridge, causing an immediate collapse. The ship made mayday calls as it careened out of control, allowing authorities to block off traffic from crossing the bridge right before the impact. Unfortunately, a construction crew of 8 men were filling potholes on the bridge at the time of the accident. Only 2 of the workers have been rescued, one with serious injuries. The other 6 are now presumed dead after authorities called off their rescue mission. No further information has been released as to why the massive sea vessel lost power.
It appears highly unlikely the Supreme Court will challenge the FDA's current rules pertaining to the accessibility of the abortion pill mifepristone after a majority of the justices showed little interest in taking action on the matter.
FDA acted on an extensive body of evidence and well within its authority and in accordance with the law.
The Supreme Court listened on Tuesday to arguments made by a group of anti-abortion doctors who were disputing the FDA's procedures for prescribing and dispensing the abortion pill to the public. Most of the justices, both conservative and liberal, seemed doubtful about the legitimacy of the plaintiffs' claims, questioning their standing on moral harm. The plaintiffs argued for sharply reducing access to mifepristone after the FDA eliminated a number of restrictions for it over the past 8 years. However, these arguments were met with great skepticism as there are a number of far-reaching implications at play.
Women are now left to receive these drugs in the mail or in their dorm room without ever having been checked by a doctor for life-threatening conditions. That's reckless.
More than half the women in the United States who chose to terminate a pregnancy use abortion pills, such as mifepristone. Restricting access to pills like this would be another blow to abortion rights and women's health care alike. The Supreme Court challenging the FDA's current rules on mifepristone could potentially negate the FDA's regulatory capabilities.
Recently, a growing number of hospitals are experimenting with virtual nursing to help reduce burnout and turnover. According to one study published by the National Library of Medicine, around 800,000 nurses intend to leave the workforce by 2027, forcing hospitals to come up with new ways to retain staff. Charissa Jackson, who served 4 deployments as an Air Force nurse, is now one of the nurses opting to work from behind a screen.
It was essential for my mental health to find a way to still use my expertise after I left the military.
A study published by Class Research shows that physician and nurse burnout remains above pre-pandemic levels, and staffing shortages and too many bureaucratic tasks were identified as key factors. Virtual nurses focus on aspects of care, including patient outreach, admissions, and discharges, allowing in-person nurses to provide more for the patients at their bedside.
Over 120 workers at the Central Vermont Medical Center and community members held a rally on Sunday at Bear City Hall in Vermont, supporting a newly proposed union contract. Central Vermont Medical Center had won an election calling for the formation of a union in August of last year, resulting in the creation of the Central Vermont Healthcare United. The newly formed union has found itself at odds with the company administration as they have yet to agree to the terms of the union contract. CVMC employees have complained of below-average pay, understaffing, and poor training, issues that the contract is expected to fix should it be approved by the administration.
This has been Nina Mir
and Brianna Dearlum
with the Stony Brook Newsbreak.